We're in Japan. Panasonic flew us out here to check out the new Lumix S9. It's an extremely compact camera with a very big full-frame sensor inside. It's basically the same sensor, probably the exact same sensor as in the S5 II. So we're gonna have a ton of image quality, but what I wanna know is how usable is it with some of the features that they've removed to make it smaller. Quick disclaimer before I get started in this video, Lumix has sponsored a few videos in the past. Just wanted to clarify, this is not one of them. They did fly us out here for the trip. They lent us the camera, but they don't get to see this video before it posts. They have nothing to say about what I say in it. So all these opinions are mine. So this category of camera where you take a relatively big sensor and put it in a compact body is what I've found the most exciting lately. I recently did a video comparing the Leica Q3 to the Fuji X100 VI, and I love them both. The idea of having something that isn't compromising any image quality, but is a lot smaller to fit in your bag is really compelling to me. So first, I need to figure out, where does this fit? How much is it a photo versus a video camera, and who is it for? The main reason for the S9 to exist is its compact size. Lumix absolutely succeeded there. It's a little bit smaller than the Fuji X100 without a lens on it. It's got some really nice retro styling, comes in 4 different colors, and the benefits of the smaller size are pretty obvious. It's easy to carry around a full frame sensor. There's not that many bodies this small with this much quality, but they did have to remove quite a lot to get it down to size. So let's go through a quick list of the things they removed. First of all, there's no viewfinder on the back, which I didn't think I'd miss that much because I'm pretty used to spending a lot of time looking at my rear display, but as soon as it wasn't there, I kept putting it up to my eye for no reason at all. So if you really care about your EVF, there isn't one here. There's also no mechanical shutter inside. It's electronic only, which that's okay for most things. It does mean you can see a little bit more rolling shutter occasionally, but it's pretty well controlled. And also it doesn't have flash sync speeds because of the electronic shutter. So on top of the camera, we only have a cold shoe. There's no hot shoe there, so no flash at all is possible with the S9. And overall, the feeling of the controls and the dials are just less robust than on the S5 II or on the GH6. We're used to something a little more chunky, and it is, it's a slightly more consumer grade physical build. So if you're okay missing those features, let's talk about what they did leave in. So first, it has a fully articulating screen, just like the S5 II. It uses the same great lithium batteries as in the S5 II, so it really lasts all day on 2 batteries. Even one will get me through most of the day, so really fantastic battery life here. It's got one SD card slot that supports UHS-2, and that means it's able to keep up with those larger video files and also faster burst rates, which are up to 9 frames per second. And the 2 small parts, hello. Its 2 ports on the side are USB-C. You can internally charge the battery, and also a tiny little HDMI. Let's start by looking at the S9 in the way that Lumix presented it. Like, what they want it to be is a creator's camera. If you don't want to get too far into the details of technical features, but still get all of the potential image quality out of a full frame sensor. It inherits most of the video features of the S5 II, so that means it can shoot at 6K, 30 frames per second, or 4K up to 60 frames per second, including open gate, meaning you have a bigger frame. It has the same dual gain ISO, so that means when you're turning it up to 4000, the image cleans up quite a bit, not much noise, it's very usable in low light. It can shoot into the same V-Log color profile, which means you can extract all of the dynamic range and color tones that you can in the S5 II or any other professional Panasonic Lumix camera. And you could match this with other professional cameras because log profiles are very flexible. One feature that Lumix has really been ahead of the pack with is open gate, which is on more professional cameras like the Alexa, and basically means you're using the full sensor. So you're shooting a taller image than 16:9, so that later you have a lot more flexibility with the way that you crop. So let's say you're doing a vertical and horizontal edit, there's more space on the top and bottom, so when you post it to TikTok or Instagram, it looks just as good as it does on YouTube. So all these features on the S5 II were things that professionals would appreciate. When you're color grading later, you love that 10-bit log footage. But what they're doing with the S9 is trying to bring a lot of those to everybody. So you don't need to know the technical details or edit it later in a color grading suite. Everybody can get closer to these cinematic results without the technical knowledge. And there's 2 big ways that they did that. One is a new app called Lumix Lab, and the other is the way that they're integrating real-time LUTs, which even has a dedicated button on the back of the camera. If you haven't worked with LUTs before, these are an industry standard thing that colorists use all the time. Usually you'd be shooting in a flat profile, like log, where there's no contrast or saturation. Then you would apply a LUT to get a standardized look across all of your video. And this would be done in your video editing software like DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut, Premiere. So when you're looking at all this sample footage from my trip, it's all shot on the S9, and keep in mind that it's all coming straight out of camera. Usually my YouTube videos are all shot in log and then lovingly color graded on the computer later, but instead I took the LUTs that I created earlier in DaVinci Resolve, installed them on the camera, and then they're just being applied as I shoot. And talking to Panasonic about this, they've done it the right way. The LUT is being applied at the right point of the pipeline, which is really important. It's something people mess up all the time on the computer. Color grading is usually not easy, so this is a way you can kind of hand it over completely to the camera. If you like these results, the link to download my LUT pack is in the description. It includes the conversion LUTs to extract all of the color depth and dynamic range from log footage, and a couple of film emulation presets so you can get this look without any color adjustments in post-production. Most of this video was shot using Stalman Film 02, in case you were wondering. The other thing they did to make this easier for creators is launch a brand new app, Lumix Lab. It's going to be replacing the previous app eventually. It's not quite there yet, but for now, what it's going to allow you to do is download LUTs either from the internet, from your computer, or from creators in a shop that Lumix provides, and then install them directly onto the S9 really easily. They can also create a 5G signal to quickly transfer photos and videos. Then you can edit them on your phone, and while you're editing, generate a LUT that you can then save back to the camera. This is really well thought out. I like this integration. Nobody else has done this yet. In fact, I don't know if it's ever been this easy to create LUTs without really knowing anything, so good job, Lumix. They've also created a more compressed codec called MP4 Lite that's much easier to work with on phones, and it means you'll have faster transfer speeds. Their idea is that they want to be just as easy to shoot on your bigger camera and instantly transfer your phone and then post straight to social media. A few companies have tried this. I love that idea. I'm probably going to keep shooting on my iPhone most of the time, but if that friction can go away, I would start using a big camera way more often for casual shooting. Something Lumix has been leading the industry with for a while is their image stabilization. It's really amazing, and I just like that I don't even have to think about hand shake while I'm shooting on it. And now they've introduced a new, stronger version of e-stabilization, high mode. Anya's shooting with it right now, so here, shake the camera, just kind of vibrate it. You know, it stabilizes a lot. I can't see the footage right now, but based on all the shooting I've done, it can really get you as close as you could to gimbal-like footage just using interval stabilization. So I compared it to my iPhone. It's not quite at the same level, but it's the best you can get with a large sensor like this. Let's just take a break talking about cameras for a second and acknowledge how amazing this is. Like, this guy was just sitting on the side of the road. All he wants is a scratch and a snack. So we took the train out to Nara Park today, and there are hundreds of deer all around the town. They have basically taken it over, and they are so awesome. They're really friendly to people. They all look really healthy. This is one of the best experiences I've had traveling. I love this place. Do you love this place? So if you're okay giving up a few features and physical controls, then the S9 makes for a very capable video camera. But the first thing I thought about when Panasonic announcement is what a great daily carry compact photo camera it would be. Like, I am a huge fan of the X100, the Leica Q3. There are a few really great cameras in that category, but this would be the affordable one. So how does it stack up? First of all, I think there's a bit of a mistake in them not having an amazing lens to fit it at launch. So what I've got on here right now is a 26mm f8 manual focus, extremely plastic, I mean, basically toy lens. I am not totally sure the price on this, but I can't recommend it to anybody. As a point of comparison, Canon has a 28mm 2.8 that's only $270 and would be way more useful. So the fact that I can't actually get the camera this small and usable with Lumix lenses is a little bit of a disappointment. Panasonic also announced a compact zoom lens that might be better on here, but it's still not that small. So I might try some of the Sigma compact primes. The thing is, I really like the Lumix prime lenses, and they're pretty small for most cases, but once you put it on the S9, they actually feel pretty big. So it really would have helped to have something that fit the scale of this camera at launch that I liked. In terms of photography performance, I'm really happy with it. 24 megapixels, just like on the S5 II, and the same capable phase detect autofocus that got me shooting Lumix in the first place, because before that, it wasn't good enough. Now it's good, very usable, not quite at Sony's level, but they are still pushing it forward. In fact, there was a new update recently to the firmware of the S5 II that really did make a significant difference. So I hope they keep pushing on that in the future. Going through all the photos that we shot on this trip, I'm really happy with the results. The new real-time LUT feature also acts as film emulation for still photos, so I was able to apply my LUTs as we're shooting, have those filmic colors on the JPEGs, which I can then immediately download to my phone and post without any edits. If you're choosing a small camera with a relatively large sensor for your everyday photos, there's not that many to choose from now. And Lumix clearly wanted to come in as one of the most affordable options, and unfortunately that does mean they cut quite a few features that are available in some of the others. That's the Lumix S9. And if you want to know more about how to use it, I have a video all about the S5 II, and almost everything is exactly the same because it is packed with most of those same features. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.